Hello, I'm STEMilyK, your hostess to the world of STEM, and today I'm here with Dr. Dominici, who is the professor of biostatistics at Harvard University. So, first, I just want to ask you, how did you really get involved in STEM? Where did your interest start?
So I always loved math, and for me, doing math homework even when I was just first year of high school um, was always like playing a game. So I love math because for me math was fun. It wasn't homework. But then as I um, pro, progressed through my study, I started to experience a little bit of the frustration where even if I love math and I can do very, very sophisticated math, it wasn't clear to me how I could use
Yeah.
these, very sophisticated tools to change things. So, fortunately, I came across the field of statistics, and immediately I knew that that was the perfect match for me.
So, could you describe how your career progressed and how these different progressions have led you to the career you have today?
My career is very unusual. And I think that for most girls, I would say that's atypical. It's very unusual. I grew up in Italy, in a little town outside Rome, and I was there studying for my high school. And I knew I was passionate in math, and then I pursued studying college. In my college, I enrolled into a statistics program at University of Rome. And all of the pressure from my family and my friends were always against me because when I enrolled in the statistics program, I mean, they want me to go to college for sure, but they were, kind of pushing me toward taking, low level administrative jobs and
Yeah.
get married. At that time in my career, I had a boyfriend who was an airplane pilot, and everybody was like, thinking, yeah, okay, she's gonna, do some
Yeah.
studying statistics and maybe get a degree, but then ultimately get married
Yeah.
to an airplane pilot. And it was very traumatic because basically I decided at pretty early age, I was, my 18, 19, and I decided that was not what I wanted. And I can't tell you, I mean, it was a big step of big courage because
Yeah.
basically I broke the engagement and I moved out of town.
Wow, yeah.
And I decided to enroll in a PhD program in statistics in northern of Italy. And you have to consider that, 30 years ago, even moving from Rome to northern of Italy for a girl at that
Yeah.
age was a big deal. So then I went to Padua, Northern University, Padua, which is a city north of Rome, and I enrolled in an Italian PhD program in statistics. And even there, I immediately realized that there was so much more about
Yeah.
statistics that I could learn around the world. And so I took this other additional step, which was very bold at that time, which was to ask to be a visiting student at a university in the United States at Duke. And this was now, I was 24 at that point, and they allowed me to come and visit. And it was a crazy move. I mean, my family was really mad at me because, again, I broke the engagement. I didn't want to think about getting married at that, and I just want to study. So I found myself as a visiting student at Duke. I was 24 years old. Well, you're gonna laugh about this. My knowledge of English was no zero. I didn't speak the language at all. But what I did, I took the most sophisticated math classes because
Wow.
actually more math intensive they were, less English spoken were in the classroom. So it was great.
That's so.
And it was really hard to change. I mean, moving
Yeah.
from Rome to Durham, North Carolina was really hard. But I just wanted to study, and so Duke was great because then it was a statistics program, and immediately I remember my first statistics project was how to use math and probability to better understand which treatment was more
That is great.
effective for treating all kinds of disease. And I said, that's cool because
Yeah.
I can really change things. And so then, I finished basically my Italian PhD thesis in statistics at Duke University. And by the way, to all of this now we're talking, I had no money,
Yeah.
zero money. I mean, um, I had $3,000 in my bank account, and I have a scholarship from Italy that was like $400 a month.
Yeah.
And so, I was poor, but the only thing I wanted to do is study. And finally, I finished my Italian PhD at Duke University. And then I decided to apply for jobs in the US, just a research assistant job as a postdoctoral fellow. And my thesis was really strong at that point, and Johns Hopkins hired me as a postdoctoral fellow.
That's great.
And I got my first salary there, and that was in 1997. And then then I went from postdoctoral fellow to faculty at Johns Hopkins for 12 years, and then I was hired at Harvard as a full professor in 2009. So it was a path, and again, throughout my entire career, it was always about, are you crazy? Why you're doing this? You shouldn't do this, and why you're taking this hard road where you could take a simpler way out. And I never accepted that. And so that's why I feel so passionate about what you're doing, Emily, because I think it's so important that girls understand that they can do this, and they should do this, and they shouldn't listen.
So could you talk about what you're currently doing today and define for girls what biostatistics is and what have you been doing research on?
So what I'm very passionate is that I do feel that everyone in our country, I mean in the United States, but also all around the world, should have the right of breathing clean air. And I'm also passionate, I call it myself a data scientist, which is taking all of the best possible data that now is out there, combining it together to inform how can we protect kids, elderly, and everyone from adverse health effects from breathing contaminated air. And so I have a large team of scientists, including student and postdoctoral fellow. We take data from satellite, from monitoring station, from claims data, electronic medical record data, anything you can imagine. We link it together. We develop highly sophisticated mathematical models, and then we estimate the effects of current level of air pollution, whether that's affect health. And what is really satisfying for me is that the scientific publication or research in higher level journal, they're changing policy. And
That's
so, for
great.
example, just yesterday, there was the hearing for the confirmation of the Deputy Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, and at the hearing, they talk about the science I produce. And so it's a scientific science, it's a scientifically sound data science that can change, environmental policy. And so that's what I do.
So what are some of your goals to continue using your passion and interest in this in the future?
Yeah. So I would say there are at least three goals I have. One is I do believe in the importance and the value of data, of information. And I do believe that if we, especially now with the technology that we have, we have satellite data, we have smartphone, we have Fitbit, we have so much technology that always collect enormous amount of information. And so I am very passionate about taking all of the information is available and make it in a way that we can do science on it. And two is the way that we do science on it is to think about mathematics and statistics to analyze this data. And asking the right question, analyzing this data, so then when there are important decisions about which cancer treatment is
Yeah.
best for that particular child, or which climate change policy we should implement. We are not making this decision based on politics. We make this decision based on data. And then, of course, my biggest passion is training and education. And because everything I do, being an academic, involves students, at the undergraduate level, at the graduate level, the postdoctoral fellow, and especially female. And I have fantastic students that I mentor, and I see what they're going through, and I empower them because to basically go to the next level, because I really want to build a pipeline of female that engage in data science.
So what are some of the other things that you're involved with at Harvard that might be supporting the Girls in STEM initiative?
Oh, yeah. So, well, first of all, I am the director of the data science initiative for all Harvard. And this is, I am the director also with David Parks, and David Parks is a professor of computer science, and he's wonderful. And in this leadership role for all Harvard, I, engaging, encouraging, empowering female Harvard to be into STEM and in data science is something that I do every single day. And, it's interesting because as part of data science at Harvard, we are always involved in organizing events, organizing conference, and what we do is we ask around, and it's so interesting because we always get nomination on mail. And that's where I start, advocating and say, no, we are not going to do this event unless you show me and bring female that is the same number. Not only that, but because now I'm in such a powerful leadership position, I'm taking a stand of kind of policing. So if someone invites me to an event, at Harvard or any other data science around the world, and I look at the program, and if there is mostly male, I tell them, I'm sorry, I'm not coming because it is disgrace that you don't have a better female representation. And I'm now taking a very bold stand because I realize that if I'm not doing that as data science director of Harvard, who's gonna do it? And sometimes I get pushed back, but and then they ask me to advertise things. And again, if there's not gender balance, I said, I'm not gonna advertise, and you are a disgrace.
So, what is some advice that you have for aspiring female data scientists?
I would say follow your passion. If you're passionate about what you want to do it, and do not listen to what people say, especially because if you're really good, the male will try to tell you not to do it. They will always try. Better you are, smarter you are, more you're going to have the pressure that you shouldn't do it. And I just think you should ignore it. I think you should be who you are, follow the passion, do not try to adapt to any stereotype. And I also really feel strongly that you should sit at the table when you walk into a meeting. Don't sit outside the table. Sit at the table. Raise your hand. If someone interrupts you, say, do not interrupt me. If someone dismisses you, you say, can you please pay attention? I found myself in this situation all the time, and I see my student all the time. And, that's just some concrete advice. So often I found that, the girls start talking and someone get up and take a coffee or well, stop talking, wait that the person sit down, because then you basically send a message that what you're saying is as important as what your male say. And it's hard because as a girl, especially as a young girl,
Yeah.
I do know that you want to you want to you want to have people that likes you,
Mhm.
right? So that's why you try to be nice, you try to be quiet, you
Mhm.
try to, but in STEM, and if you have the passion of science,
Mhm.
it's not the question of being nice, it's a question of demanding
Yeah.
the same amount of respect and attention that your male
Yeah.
counterpart is having, and you have to do it. And it took me a lot of time
Mhm.
to. It's hard. By no means I'm saying this is
Yeah.
easy. It's hard, but I also think that as you're getting to do it at the younger age, it's getting easier and easier.
Mhm.
And so, and just follow your passion. And it's not that um, you can, I am Italian. I love to dress.
Yeah.
I love to travel. I love to
Yeah.
shop. I love to have food. I love to socialize. I love to
Yeah.
have fun. It's not that you have to fit a particular stereotype.
Mhm.
So you just have to be yourself. But I've become now for a long time someone who demand respect, and I think some people are a little bit scared of me,
Mhm.
which is great. I
Yeah.
think it's good. It's just to communicate in a polite,
Yeah.
in a respectful manner that you are not someone that people want to mess up with you, and
Mhm.
but you have to accept that some boys or some other girl
Yeah.
will not like you, and that's unfortunately because of the gender schema.
Yeah.
That's is something you're gonna face,
Mhm.
but what is best, I think is best if you follow your
Yeah.
passion and you are who you are, then give up on a passion
Mhm.
because of conforming to stereotyping.
Well, I want to thank Dr. Dominici for being with us today. And again, I'm STEMilyK, your hostess to the world of STEM.